enough and go for an attack, he might be able to even take this, to take Deth out, because he really doesn't have all that much. But it seems like both players right now are just teching and macroing up. We saw that an infestation pit is being created by Artosis. So I think Artosis might be going for a hive as soon as he can to try to get some more teched units. He doesn't have Hydralisk, so I think really that is the only thing that he can do right now. In production, we see that Zerg missiles are being upgraded, so these roaches will have 1/1 upgrades to them, and we see some more tanks. So right now Artosis actually is in a bit of trouble against this composition right here, because all he really has are roaches, and those are armored units. Both Thors and siege tanks deal with roaches pretty well, so I gotta hand it to Deth. He is doing a good job with the unit composition. I would, however, like to see a little bit more harass, because I don't really know why he stopped doing it. He could have just kept harassing with Thor ships as much as he wanted. All Artosis really has are queens. No spore crawlers anywhere. I think Artosis was probably going to wait until some more Thor ships were going to be flying around the field until he decided to go spore crawlers. So Deth did not decide to do that. This expansion finally getting saturated. Thors and tanks still for Deth. Looks like Hellion, it's going to be pretty much a mech game for Deth against Artosis. Artosis is probably, I really actually don't know what to expect from him right now, because he doesn't have a Spire, so I don't see why he would be going Broodlords. Actually, sorry about that, I missed that Spire. The Spire is being laid down, so he might actually be going Broodlords. We do see some Infestors, which is going to be a great counter to the Thors. This is going to be really fun to see how it plays out. I never noticed this before, this animation behind those Infestors. It's like it's like a cockroach trail. That's pretty gross. That's kind of cool though. And an Overlord being sniped out here with some drones. So Artosis was actually trying to expand here. This Viking really could just lay down. I'm not even sure Deth realized what happened here, but yeah, it looks like Artosis was going for this island expansion. Some more Thor ships happening here. That medevac is fungal growth right now, so we do see a greater spire being built. I don't think that he only saw the spire being built. He doesn't see the greater spire, so yeah, these drones have gone down. Some more Vikings flying into this base, so he is going to see that greater spire finally. So it's going to be probably roaches and broodlings, I'm guessing. Roaches, broodlings, and infestors, but I am not sure where those Vikings went. I didn't have the everyone tab on. So the Vikings probably could have done a bit more damage. I'm not sure. I really would like to see some more harass by Deth. I really feel like he has the mobility to do so, since roaches really are not that fast, and Artosis doesn't have much air up yet. But there are corruptors now, so a little bit too late if he does decide to try and harass him right now. But looks like both players are massing up. Deth is pretty much only mech. He has a couple of Marines, so other than those 3 Marines in the field, he is entirely a mech army. He is going to be able to deal with those roaches very well, but really what we are going to need to see from Artosis is a massive amount of broodlings. Looks like he is getting a lot of zerglings right now to try to deal with the food supply here, because really Deth does have a lot of ground, and so his roaches would be completely squashed if he didn't have anything to back them up. So despite the fact that Artosis is going to be getting Broodlords, I think he does need a lot of ground troops to try to deal with that. So it looks like another harass is incoming, but I think those corruptors, he has enough corruptors to deal with that air force. So let's see how this plays out. He does have some Hellions here. He is flying into this base. However, there really aren't that many drones left. I don't even think he's going to be able to kill more than a couple. Looks like maybe 1 drone died. No, just a couple of red drones. Those Hellions and that medevac is going down, so I'm not really sure. He did finally get a couple of fried up drones right there. But like I said, Deth should really have attacked a little bit sooner or harassed a little bit more than he has. I think he might be intimidated by the fact that he is playing Artosis and isn't taking those risks, but I think you kind of need that. So a Spore Crawler laying down here so Artosis can secure this expansion as well as this one, but I think this one might have some trouble. However, there are roaches there, so actually I think they are going to be able, Artosis is going to be able to secure both of these expansions, at least for right now. So Artosis is macroing up very well against Deth. Deth is going to be in a lot of trouble. He really is just letting Artosis build up. However, he does have this huge army. I'm not sure why Deth isn't getting more anti-air, because these infestors are going to be able to counter these Thors fairly well. Really, as you've heard time and time again, it will all come down to micro. Although he does only have 3 infestors, so there are still going to be at least 3 more Thors to deal with whatever air there is. Taking a look at the food count right now, it is 183 to 145. So Deth at 191 now, actually. So he is almost maxed out. He does have an advantage against Artosis right now. He really, I would recommend, since he is almost maxed out, he should probably try and go in for a push. But right now he is trying to secure his macro game. I guess that is not a bad call. He is trying to secure his macro game, so he will be able to get another expansion at least on Artosis, because his main is almost mined out. He's trying to do the same thing here. He's trying to deny Artosis of both of his expansions. Artosis is not liking that. He realizes he has another hatchery right here. He realizes he might actually be in trouble. He waited for those Vikings to come in, but they did not come in, and it looks like Deth is going to be taking this high yield. Tanks coming in. This is going to be a dead expansion. I don't think he made any drones. Oh yeah, there are some drones here, so he is still going to be able to take this expansion on. Zerglings being morphed in right here as well. A very weak tank. Those Zerglings are going to be able to take that tank down. The second one as well. We saw here this was taken down to that Thor ship fire. Corruptors can attack the Thors, obviously, so he was able to just take down whatever ground units there were. I think there were only a couple of roaches and whatever else he was able to spawn. But Artosis, yeah, right now he is in kind of a crunch. He does have this expansion secured. He may have overextended his reach a little bit by trying to take both of these at the same time. But now Deth safely securing that high yield expansion, and I think a battle is finally approaching. There are right now 24 Corruptors on the field, no Broodlords, so let's see how this battle plays out. Zerglings coming in up on the field. That is a lot of dead Zerglings. They just got fried up right there on the hill. Not a good spot for Artosis to attack. He is retreating. He was trying to morph in some Broodlords there. Yeah, we do see some Broodlords being morphed in. He doesn't have a lot of resources, however, so he only is going to be able to have about 5 or 6 for this battle. So Deth right now should be marching in on Artosis' base, but he is not. He is still delaying this game and taking his time. Looks like he is finally marching in. Hellions going in headfirst against that ground army. The Zerglings are going down by the second. 7 Broodlords, or 5 Broodlords up on the map right now. They are doing a lot of damage to those siege tanks. Corruptors doing a good job against those Vikings, but there are 2 Thors stolen. Now those Thors have